Well, hello and welcome to Finish Strong Friday. I hope you've had a great week. Might have a few things that you can still wrap up, so let's stay on those and let's get those things done for the week. But today we're going to go over 7 things failure is not. And of course, we see that diagram all the time with the try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail. And that is really what gets you to success is that circle of try fail. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Get a lot of this out of Failing Forward, which is a book by John Maxwell, which is one of my all-time favorite guys just to be around. I've been in some of his live events and just a lot of his books and stuff, but phenomenal book. And I will be doing a deep dive on Failing Forward here. I've been rereading it, and actually, truth be told, it's one of those books that I bought, read a little bit, and then put on a shelf, and it's just been crying at me. So picked it back up, and now it has all my favorite highlighter colors in it, all my favorite post-it notes in it. The amount of knowledge in the book is phenomenal. So we're going to go over a little bit of it today. 7 things failure is not. So I'm going to back out of here so you can see the screen a little better, and we'll get to it. All right, there you go. All right, well, let's head on to number 1, which is failure is not avoidable. Now, a lot of you spend so much time and so much energy in trying to avoid failure. But hello, I mean, if you're a human being, you're going to make mistakes. So I thought it pretty pertinent here to go ahead and just lay out 5 rules for being human. For goodness sakes, number 1, you will learn lessons. That's part of being human, right? And number 2, there are no mistakes, only lessons. So just keep that in mind. Look at all of your failures, all your mistakes. It's just what was I supposed to learn here? Because once you do it incorrectly or once you do it wrong, you have a clue as what not to do so you can get better at doing it, right? And a lesson is repeated until it's learned. That's the bottom line. I mean, you might try and fail, try and fail, try and fail, and you're going to have that lesson repeated until it's learned. And if you don't learn the easy lessons, they just get harder. So when you're A to B for me, we're always talking about the easy stuff and the easy button. And there's not a lot of easy buttons in success. It's just persistence and keeping at it and keeping your key predictive indicators in order and your key actions in order every week. But if you don't learn the easy lessons, they just get harder. They're not going to go away. But because pain is one of the ways that the universe gets your attention. And it's like, hey, dude, I mean, you need to do this better. I mean, and that's part of it. There's an area there. The subconscious, we talk about subconscious all the time. The subconscious is there to make sure that you're breathing and that you avoid pain. But the universe is really a bigger force of it, and it's there to get your attention to say, hey, no, you need to do this better, or you need to take care of this. So keep that in mind. And number 5, you will know when you've learned a lesson when your actions change. Because when your actions change and you're doing the right thing, all the stars align. And you're like, wow, why didn't I do this before? Why didn't I just do what they told me? Why didn't I just do what I've heard? Why, doggone it, why didn't I just do it? And then you're sitting there beating yourself up on regret. And we've all talked about regret. We don't want to regret. Just go and move forward. You've learned your lessons. Yay, you, and go on. So good job. Number 1, failure is not avoidable. All right. Number 2, failure is not an event. I failed. Well, failure is a process. And let's go back to school a little bit. Some of you, it might been a while, but if you flunk a test and receive an F, it shows that you neglected the process leading up to the test, not the fact that you failed that one-time event. Yeah, you got an F on the test. You didn't pass, but it wasn't the taking of the test. It was the fact that you didn't prepare for the test. So failure was the process leading up to that event. And success comes from what you do day to day. Therefore, it's also a process. And we talk about this all the time, the compound effect, compounding of doing things the right way and getting your key productive indicator, getting your key actions, all these things lined up every single day, reviewing your affirmations, reviewing your mission, your life purpose, all these things, because success comes from what you do day to day. And it's a process and it's a system, because neither failure or success is an event. It's simply how you deal with life along the way. And yeah, we'll talk about my perfect equation. I used it yesterday when I was with a gal. She was talking about something happened in her life. And I said, well, let's remember E plus R equals O, right? Event plus response equals the outcome. So it's not the event that's going to dictate the outcome, it's your response to the event. So it's simply how you deal with life along the way. And no one can conclude that they failed until they actually breathe their last breath. And I know we talk about a lot here about what when is that going to happen? Well, we don't really know. But why do you want to wait? Let's don't live a life of regret on our deathbed. Let's get it rolling now. But until then, you're still in the process. You're in the process of knowing your purpose in life. You're in the process of growing to reach your potential, and you're in the process of sowing the seeds for success. So just keep it going. Again, success or failure is not an event, it's a process. So just remember that one. All right, let's go on to number 3. Failure is not objective, failure is subjective. Your perception of and response to your mistakes determine whether your actions are failures. Again, this is more E plus R equals O stuff. You are the only person who can really label what you do as a failure. Other people may have their opinions, a mean boss or some relationship or something may say you're a failure, but you are the only person who can really label what you do as a failure, because you know what the process was, you know what the situations were. But entrepreneurs almost never get their first business off the ground. It's rare that happens, and it's rare that their second or third one gets off the ground. It takes persistence, but they are not deterred by problems, mistakes, or errors, because they do not see setbacks as failures. And there's your key word, a setback. No, this is temporary. I'm not done yet. So I'm not done yet. This is just a setback. Let's keep rolling. Because what entrepreneurs do is they recognize that 3 steps forward and 2 steps back still equals 1 step forward. And that's what you got to think about. Where did you start and where are you now? And look back and have gratitude every day and be thankful for where you are now versus where you were before. So, again, always remember that 3 steps forward and 2 steps back still equals 1 step forward. And as a result, entrepreneurs always overcome the average and become achievers. And that's what will happen. That's what can happen in your life, will happen in your life, maybe is happening right now in your life. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, and you'll overcome the average and become a top achiever. All right, number 4, failure is not your enemy. Everybody, oh my God, failure that's always there at me. It's just coming at me. No, it's not your enemy. This is a great quote that we found in the book. The person who never makes a mistake generally takes orders from one who does. That is so true, because people who see failure as the enemy are captive to those who conquer it. The folks who get out there and just don't see it that way are the ones who are making things happen, who are out there creating business, creating opportunity, and creating jobs. It's not the people who are worried about their mistakes all the time, because achiever, and you'll discover a person who doesn't see a mistake as their enemy. Because when we give ourselves permission to fail, we at the same time give ourselves permission to excel, because you just don't want to belabor the fact that you failed. Just keep going, because failure is good. It's the fertilizer for success. So, all that crap that you're dealing with in your life, all that crap that you're dealing with from customers and from situations and bankers and everything out there that's messing with you, that's just fertilizer, baby. That's just the fertilizer for success. So all this failure is good. It's just a fertilizer for success. All right. Well, what do we got next? Number 5, failure is not irreversible. That's not true. It doesn't matter how much milk you spill. as long as you don't lose the cow. That's an old Texas saying. Because you got to keep everything in perspective. The problems come when you see only the spilt milk and not the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is you got a cow. So if you got a cow, you can get more milk. Right? So keep everything in perspective. You've got a business, you've got a game plan, you got things going for yourself. So that's the bigger picture, not the fact that one part of it didn't work out, right? And people who correctly see failure, they just take it in stride. They're like, man, you sure don't seem to be upset about this. And so, well, I'm not, because it's just part of the process. Mistakes don't make them want to give up. But on the other side of it, success doesn't make them think that they're set up for life, right? I mean, you go through and you have some successes. You don't get all big headed and just, oh, I'm all set now. Because I'm telling you, success is a process, and I've always told everybody that success is never owned; it's rented, and rent is due every day. So you got to keep at it. You can't just sit here and rest on your laurels and say, "Yep, I made it." So keep rolling. Now, every event, whether it's good or bad, it's one small step in the process of living. So just keep going. Enjoy life. But you got to remember, we're talking about a lot of different areas of success here. We're not just talking about money. Every time we talk about success, everybody thinks about money. And that is a big part of it because of so much you can do with money. You can support your churches and your charities and these types of things. You can set your family up so that you don't have to worry and have stress and all these things. You can live a better life. You can get some of those toys if you want them. That's your prerogative. If you work for them, go get them. But your social will pick up. Physical, you may have more time to go do the stuff that you want to do physically and get in shape. Mentally, obviously, it's better for you. So all these different areas of success, it doesn't matter what they are, none of them are permanent. They're all reversible if you have a little bit of a setback. All right, what we got next? Well, failure is not a stigma. This is a lot of people's problem. It is a stigma, but because they think that it's just permanent. And again, mistakes are not permanent markers. They just wash right off. I'm telling you, they don't worry about it. Even the permanent ones. The permanent markers wash right off. I have enough of that on me every single day working on the board here. But mistakes are not permanent markers. And I love this quote by Senator Sam Ervin Jr. He said, "Defeat may serve as well as victory to shake the soul and let glory out." Because I'm telling you what, when you make mistakes, don't let them get you down. And don't let yourself think of them as stigmas. Make each failure a step to success. It's just, again, every failure is fail forward. Just like Maxwell says in the book, fail forward. Make every failure just a learning experience, just part of the process. It's just one more thing that I've got to get through and learn what to do to get where I need to be. So do not think of failure as a stigma. And last but not least, failure is not final. I got a lot of red on this one. I want you to listen to this one, because even what may appear to be a huge failure doesn't need to keep you from achieving. And the biggest case in point that I found here was Sergio Simon and New Coke. Now, some of you may not be old enough. This was back in the mid '80s when New Coke came around. Coca-Cola was suffering from a 20-year decline against its rival Pepsi. And remember, back in the day, you used to have the Pepsi challenge, right? That they go out there and they have the Coke and the others in there underneath the thing, and you got to taste them and tell them which one. So we had the Pepsi challenge back then. But after successfully introducing Diet Coke, Zyman's solution, because he had everybody's attention at that point, right? Zyman's solution was to stop offering the original formula that had been popular for nearly 100 years. Now, if you sit back and look at that in itself, does that make any damn sense? You got something that's been popular for almost 100 years, and you're going to change the formula, and you're going to offer a new formula and call it New Coke, right? Dadgum, it's been around for 100 years. You've been making money. You're going to change it. But at the heat of the moment there, yep, we're going to change the formula, and we're going to offer it as New Coke. Well, it was an abysmal failure. Well, I remember this. It wasn't good. It lasted only 79 days in 1985. So 79 days versus over 100 years. It cost the company $100 million to put this thing out, all the processes, all the changes. And quite obviously, Simon left the company after that. But later, he said the failure, but obviously, well, the failure didn't keep him down because he agreed that the strategy did not work, but the totality of his action did, as the return of the original formula made the company stronger. And it really did. It came back with Coca-Cola Classic, and all of a sudden, everything was right as rain again. They got so much attention in the media, and probably more people started drinking Coke because, well, doggone, that was some pretty good stuff. So, but they came back stronger than ever, and as a result of it, he was later rehired by Coke. As the chairman and chief executive stated, we judge the results. We get paid to produce results, not to be right. And he obviously wasn't right by changing all this stuff, but the results were that they came back stronger than ever. So failure is not final. None of us really want to have one that is quite as abysmal as this one. Most of us can't afford to have those types in our life, but the bottom line is here's a huge one, and the guy came back, and the market came back. So again, failure is not final. That's number 7, but I got one more for you here. Let's look at this real quick. I came up with this here, the actual steps to success. And based on these 7 slides, first of all, your first level is you're afraid of being a fool. Oh man, I want to go do this. I got this great idea, but man, I'm afraid of being a fool. And then you decide, well, doggone, I'm gonna do it. And then you look like a fool. You're out there doing this thing that everybody's telling you won't work, or you ain't smart enough, you ain't pretty enough, you ain't fit enough, whatever it is. You look like a fool. And then, well, heck, maybe you actually are a fool. You're out there like, man, doggone, this is true. This things ain't happening. I'm marketing, and I'm not getting people to buy my stuff. Nobody's liking me. And then all of a sudden, you just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it, and you're a successful entrepreneur. So you're just successful. Just keep on going up those steps, and lo and behold, before you know it, you're a genius. Everybody's like, man, I tell you what, I knew you had it. I knew all along, I knew it. So they went away from calling you a fool, and now you're a genius. So these are really some of the true, when you get down to where the bottom meets the rubber meets the road, steps to success. You go from being afraid of being a fool, to looking like a fool, to being a fool, to being a successful entrepreneur, and then all of a sudden you're a genius. And everybody's like, man, this guy's so lucky. He's an overnight success. Yeah. Where's all the blood, sweat, and tears that follow me back there? So think about that when you're out there. I don't matter what stage you're at right now. Just keep on going. Just keep on going. Keep on going up those steps, and you too will be a genius. Well, all right. Well, that does it for today. Here, let's look at this one more time. Try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail. There's not near enough arrows on that side of the board to get you to success. But just keep on rolling. And again, if you hadn't picked up Failing Forward by John Maxwell, you might want to do that. And again, I'm going to have a deep dive of it. So you can pick it up when we do the deep dive, and be sure and partake in that. And if you're in the network, you get that one for absolutely free, which is kind of cool. So you guys can either buy it, or you can join the network and get that one as part of our continuing ed that we have 365, 24/7 in the network. Anyway, those are our 7 failures. 7 things failure is not for this week. So have a great week. I'm going to pop back in here real quick and say bye to you, because I want you to have a great weekend, and just keep all this stuff in stride. Remember, just keep everything in perspective. But have a great weekend. I hope your Friday ends well. I hope you get everything done you need to get done. But if you don't, what's going to happen? There's going to be a Monday. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Monday. And on Monday, I will see you with our weekly challenge. But until then, have a great weekend and keep moving in the direction of your dreams. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.